When you try to be a fluent English speaker, the first thing you have to master to organize your thoughts. And you're gonna go learn all about it today. Are you ready? Well then, I'm a teacher Tiffany. Let's jump right in. The very first thing I want to look at of this situation right here. Someone has asked you a question. Do you like to travel? Now I have looking at that video. You look at the video lesson. You probably start thinking about a vacation. Maybe you had a past, or maybe a vacation you want to go on in the future. But how do you answer this question? Simply, you use 5 W's method. Here we go. The first thing you need to organize is who. Who we talking about? Me. What? Love to explore new cultures. When? During summer vacation. Where? To exotic destination. Why? Because it broadens my horizons and enriches my life. I'm gonna pause for a second. Right now, we're doing the first step. We're thinking in English. The question is, do you like to travel? If you organize your idea based on who, what, when, where, and why, the 5 W's, we will actually be able to speak English fluently. And you can do the same each and every time someone asks you a question. So we have the information who, what, when, where, and why. And how can we turn this into a fluent English response? Here's that was highlight. I love to explore new cultures during summer vacations. Usually, I travel to exotic destinations. The experience of immersing myself in unfamiliar customs, traditions, and languages broadens my horizon and enriches my life in countless ways. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, yes, Tiffany, that's an amazing response. But if you look closely, you'll realize within this response, that's right. I only used the information from 5W who, when, what, and where and why, and why to organize in the first step. Thinking in English once again, who we weren't talking about me, right? I love what? It reaches you in the piece of information from the first step. Love to explore new cultures during summer vacations to exotic, broadens my horizons. Now, we see that the response is the fluent English response, but you also notice with this response there's some new words. So I want to explain the new words. The very first one is exotic. Good after me again, exotic. Excellent. Now this just means unusual or intriguing, often associated with foreign or unfamiliar places, culture, or things. With this brand new word for you again, I use it like this. Usually I travel to exotic, unfamiliar destinations. You got it? Excellent now. In this second one, well, the third sentence I said immersing. What does the word immerse mean? Immerse oneself in something. This expression use the word. So to immerse oneself in something, it just means to fully involve oneself in or become deeply absorbed in a particular activity, experience, or environment. For example, as your English teacher, I encourage you, even if you don't live in an English country, to immerse yourself in English. Watch YouTube video, watch movies, listen to podcasts, immerse yourself, fully involve yourself. Makes sense, right? So begins in the sentence, the experience of immersing myself in unfamiliar customs, traditions, and languages, dot, 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 dot. This brings us to the next expression. Broaden one's horizon. Listen, I hope you're taking notes because these are expressions and words that native English speakers use on a regular basis. So yes, I'm helping you to think and speak English, but I'm also helping you start to sound like a native English speaker. Here we go. Broaden one's horizon. It means to expand one's knowledge, understanding, or experience beyond what is familiar or conventional, what is the norm, often by exploring new perspectives or cultures. For example, prior to going to South Korea, I had only lived in America. I was very familiar with American culture. But when I moved to the South Korea, I had to learn about a new culture. I had to understand new customs. My horizons were broadened. I started to understand people even more. Makes sense, right? All right. Now this is the next expression. Enrich one's life. Enrich one's life. It just means to enhance or improve the quality, depth, or meaningfulness of one's life of through experiential or personal growth. I always say that living in South Korea such a long time enriched to my life. I grew so many ways. My perspective, my actions, different habits. It really enriched my life. Make sense? Excellent. So we see again from the first example, thinking in English and then speaking English. Thinking by using the five who, what, when, where, and why. Okay, Tiffany, yes, we are able to answer the question. Do you like to travel using the 5W? But is it really possible to use the 5W in every situation? Yes. Look at this question right here. Here's the question. Do you and your friend like to travel? Who? Talking travel, and now we do you or your friends like to travel? How can we use the 5W who, what, when, where, and why to think in English and organize your thoughts? Here we go. Who? My friends and I. What? Travel. What? Travel. Yes, like to travel. When? Um, Last year. Um, why? Because it's enrich our life, our life. Mm, where? My friends and I. What? Enjoy going on road trips. When? On long weekends. Where? To scenic landscapes and national park. Why? Because it allows us to disconnect from our daily routines and experience the beauty of nature. You see, when you use the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, and why to organize your thoughts, all of a sudden the stress leaves. Why? She's not thinking about, ooh, how do I speak fluently? How do I sound like a native speaker? No, just focus on organizing your thoughts. You're smart. You're intelligent. Yes, I'm talking to you. You're already intelligent. I'm just giving you the tools you need to organize your thoughts and present them in English. So, 5W for this question we have who, what, when, where, and why. To answer the question, do you and your friends like to travel? What will this look like? Let's put it on together. My friends and I enjoy going on road trips. We often travel to scenic landscapes and national parks during long weekends. You already for the 5W, don't you? This adventure allowed us to disconnect from our daily routine and experience the beauty of nature. My friends, and I want you again to think about the 5W we organized in step 1. All of the information from step 1 is in our response, and that makes it a fluent English response. 5W, each of W are answered in this response. All of 5W answer, each one is seen in this response. But now let's take a step back and learn something of the words. We have some new words in this response that I want to make sure you understand. The first one is scenic. Good again after me. Scenic. Excellent. Now that just means beautiful or picturesque. Typically refer to natural landscape, views, or settings that are visually appealing or setting pleasing. I want you to once again, if you're watching this video, to look at the video in the background. This amazing national park is very scenic. This is how we use the word scenic, a picturesque, beautiful natural landscape. Next, I want you to understand this word disconnect. Disconnect. Now, this means to break free, disengage from something, often referred to as detaching someone from technology. We have our cell phone, we have our pets, we have computers. Disconnecting, not using them for a period of time. Daily routines can also be disconnected from right or distraction in order to relax, to feel rejuvenated or focus on other activity. In English, we say disconnect. For example, oh, I'm being so busy, I just need to disconnect. If someone says it, that means you want to relax or take a break from life, from technology, from work, whatever might be going on. In English, we say disconnect. Makes sense, right? Excellent, all right. So we see that we are able to use the 5W no matter what the question is. Now I want to remind you again, don't forget to download the app Twitfinity so that you can practice what is the most important thing. Practice after you learn, right? Download the app totally free and the link is in the description. Now I want to look at this question. This question right here. Does he like to travel? Notice different question, right? We focus on now on someone else. Hey, just does he like to travel? And now we want to have this your ideas based on someone's experience. But we're still going to use the 5W method. Who, what, when, where, and why. Who, he, what, seek adventures and thrills. When, during school breaks. Where? To adrenaline pumping destination like a punchy jumping sport and extreme sports center. Why? Because it gives him an adrenaline rush and makes him feel alive. Again, we just organize our thoughts: who, what, when, where, and why. Now we can speak English because our thoughts are already organized. Let's turn this actually into a fluent English response. Here is the sport. He seeks adventure and thrills during school breaks. So he usually travels to adrenaline pumping destinations like bungee jumping sports and extremely sports center. The rush of adrenaline here he experiences from pushing his limits and engaging in exhilarating activity makes him feel truly alive. A lot. This is an amazing response. It sounds like a native English speaker. Why? Because we follow the first step. Organize our thoughts: who, what, when, where, and why. Now you also notice within in this response there are quite a few new words and new expressions. So let's start with the first one. The first one I want to explain to you is thrill. Good again, thrill. Excellent. Now, this just refers to a strong feeling right here. You look at it of excitement, adrenaline, or exhilaration, often derived from intense or risky activity or experiences. Jumping out of a plane, riding a roller coaster thrill. The fact that your eyes get big and you feel this rush of adrenaline in your body. Thrill. Next, we have adrenaline pumping. adrenaline pumping. This, this, this just means something that causes a feeling comes up inside of you, typically associated with thrilling or high intensity activity that generate excitement and a heightened state of arousal. Adrenaline pumping. Man jumping out of plane and experience. Adrenaline just seems to pump. You know when your heart beats fast? Adrenaline. Next we have push one's limits. Push one limit. Now, this refers to going beyond one's comfort zone or usually capabilities, challenging oneself to reach new levels of physical, mental, or emotional information or endurance. You, my friend, right now are pushing your limits. You might have felt before this video, man, it's so hard to think in English. It's so hard to speak English fluently. But now, as you're understanding using simple methods, can I actually help you speak English fluently? You have this desire to push your limits beyond what you thought you can do. Push one's limits. And finally, we have exhilarating. A longer word again, exhilarating. Excellent. It just means produce intense feeling and of excitement. Exhilaration are the same word or joy, often associated with thrilling or stimulating experiences that make one feel alive and energized. It's exhilarating and a general pumping experience. Makes sense? Excellent. All right. So again, you're seeing how just thinking in English use five call you cause you to produce this fluent English response. So my friend, I want you to remember as you go in on journey, don't forget to use the 5W: who, what, when, where, and why. I'll talk to you in the next lesson.